I'm 5 News meteorologist Danny Cassidy. As we speak, we're seeing a weak cold front move through the area, and it's just that, a weak cold front, not a whole lot moving behind it. There is a little bit of cloud cover on the northeast side. Otherwise, for later this afternoon and evening, we're going to see plenty of sunshine. That front will dissipate by the time it gets to around the I-40 corridor, and you can see plenty of blue sky behind it. Eventually, we'll see some cloud cover moving from west to east later tonight, but it's looking like a very nice day ahead. The one caveat is going to be a little bit of that wildfire smoke. You see these arrows kind of spinning in this counterclockwise rotation. There's a low pressure to the northeast. It's bringing in some of that cooler air for us for the weekend, but it's also sending down all that wildfire smoke from Canada, especially in the north, or I should say western, northwestern section of the country. So you see a lot of these reds and oranges kind of moving its way through the eastern Rockies, through Montana, western Dakota, as well as Nebraska. That'll make its way here later this afternoon. So we'll zoom in here to kind of show you what that'll look like in our neck of the woods. So again, as we head later into the afternoon hours by, 12, 1 o'clock, start to see it move from west to east. The good news is I think a lot of this will stay elevated, but a very minor amount may mix down to the surface, so something that we'll definitely keep an eye on. Otherwise, we head towards an 8 o'clock here. As we're sitting at sunset, maybe could see some very vibrant sunsets with a lot of the smoke, so something to definitely keep an eye on. Maybe snap some photos and send it to us if you'd like. Then as we head towards Friday, tomorrow, I think a lot of it will be cleared out. We'll see a lot of cloud cover anyway, so it'll be hard to see. Maybe could see a little bit of a return into Saturday morning. You see this little thin band here. It's going to kind of stretch out because a stronger second cold front is going to move through, and behind it, some of that could make its way here as well. So it's something we'll keep an eye on. Again, a lot of that should stay elevated, but something to take note of if you're spending extended time outside. Otherwise, for high temperatures today, we'll be in the mid-80s in northwest Arkansas, low to mid-90s in the River Valley. Plenty of sunshine, especially during the afternoon, and especially in the River Valley, farther away from that front. For tonight, low temperatures in the mid to upper 60s, a couple of low 70s possible in the Fort Smith area. Clear skies with clouds building in late, and then for tomorrow, we'll see some isolated showers, especially in northwest Arkansas. Highs will be in the upper 70s, low 80s in northwest Arkansas. Still stay pretty warm in the River Valley here, especially close to 90 in the Fort Smith area, because the cold front's going to kind of make its way throughout the day tomorrow. So a little bit cooler to the north, and it'll be kind of making its way through the day tomorrow. So the River Valley still staying pretty warm. Clouds are really the only thing kind of holding it from probably getting closer to 90. As that front moves through, especially Friday night into early Saturday, it's going to combine with a low-level jet. Basically, all that means is it's like a little bit of a gas tank is being added to the storm in general, just to add a little bit of fuel. So with it, maybe could see some stronger thunderstorms, only a level 1 out of 5, but some of those storms could contain some small hail and gusty winds. A lot of this looks to be happening after sunset Friday night, but again, things could still change from here and there, so stay up to date on the forecast. But here's the latest look. So let's pick things back up tonight at 10 o'clock. Those clouds will move in from west to east, and notice by the time tomorrow morning hits, there's that cold front starting to move in from the northwest. Not a lot of activity, though, expected out of it during the day. Maybe some isolated showers. You kind of see it popping up, especially in northwest Arkansas. So if you're heading out the door tomorrow, it wouldn't be a bad idea. Just have the umbrella or raincoat handy just in case, but not expect to be a washout by any means. A lot of that will stay isolated. Now here's 7 o'clock. A lot of high school football games kicking off, including our game of the week between Boonville and Ozark, excuse me. And you see that, yeah, right now it looks pretty quiet for 7 o'clock, but towards the ends of the game, 9, 10 o'clock, we start to see that activity pick up. See these cells starting to fire off. That's where we could see some of that heavy rain as well as some gusty winds and small hail. Head towards the overnight hours. Here's 1 o'clock, so you might be waking up in the middle of the night, so maybe some heavy rainfall. You can see again these stronger cells, especially towards the River Valley, could contain some of that small hail. That continues into Saturday morning, and then as we head towards daybreak Saturday, we're starting to see it taper off a little bit. I think we'll still see some ongoing activity, especially in the River Valley. I think it'll be a lot more isolated during the morning than the overnight hours. So unfortunately, that model Futurecast only goes out the next 48 hours. So we have to use a little bit of a longer range one, but it paints a similar picture. Things are tapering off for us in the region, and then by the noon hour, things are starting to dry out. Now, we'll keep an eye on things. How long does it last during the morning? But I think by the afternoon, a lot of us become dry. As we head towards 4 o'clock, obviously, there's many things going on this weekend, including Arkansas versus Arkansas State at War Memorial Stadium. 4 o'clock kickoff looks pretty quiet. I think we'll have partly to mostly cloudy skies, temperatures in the low 70s, and dry conditions. The bleachers might be a little wet, but for now, it's trending drier. Again, things can change, but that's the latest outlook. In terms of rainfall, expecting less than an inch, generally speaking. Some areas may come close, maybe a ½ inch to 3/4 of an inch, especially if it sits over one area. But generally speaking, I think less than an inch. So, as I mentioned, Boonville versus Ozark. You can see kickoff at 7 o'clock. Temperatures in the low 80s, dropping down into the mid 70s by 10 o'clock there. Have a 20% just in case of an isolated shower. But again, most of that, I think, will be overnight after 10 o'clock into early Saturday. And of course, the big game, Arkansas versus Arkansas State, threw in a 20 and 10% chance for the early kickoff hours just in case. But as I mentioned, as you saw, it looks pretty dry. Temperatures will be pretty nice in the low 70s. I think we'll see some sunshine, especially later towards the end of the game. Again, kickoffs at 4 o'clock there at War Memorial Stadium in Little Rock. The rest of your 7-day forecast, the rest of the weekend, especially into next week, looks pretty nice. Temperatures in the low 80s in northwest Arkansas, towards the mid 80s there on Wednesday. Notice, though, again, that temperature drop off from today to Saturday, about 10 to maybe as high as 15 degrees, especially in the River Valley. You saw that 50% pop up. Again, that's the most likely chance we see of storms after 10 o'clock Friday into about sunrise Saturday morning. Same with the River Valley. Notice that temperature drop off, especially Friday into Saturday. It will be pretty nice as we head into next week, but note, it will warm back up, and I think by Thursday next week, we'll see some high temperatures into the low 90s.